Read from Please Understand Me Too by David Keirsey. Artisan role variants. The promoter. Extroverted, sensing, thinking, perceiving. Promoting is the art of putting forward an enterprise and then of winning others to your side, persuading them to have confidence in you and to go along with what you propose. Of all the artisans, ESTPs seem especially able to advertise or publicize their endeavors in this way, and to maneuver others in the direction they want them to go. In a sense, they are able to operate people with much the same skill as ISTPs operate instruments, machines, vehicles, and other tools. It might be said that people are instruments in the hands of these promoters, and that they play them artistically. ESTPs are little different from other SPs in most respects. Like all the artisans, they are concrete in their communication and utilitarian in their use of tools. They are interested in learning about arts and crafts, are preoccupied with technique, and work well with equipment. In orientation, they tend to be hedonistic, optimistic, cynical, and focused on the here and now. They want to be seen as artistic, audacious, and adaptable. Often excited, they trust their impulses, yearn for impact, seek sensation, prize generosity, and aspire to virtuosity. Intellectually, they are prone to practice tactics far more than logistics, strategy, and especially diplomacy. Further, with their tough-minded nature, they tend to play the directive role of operator much more easily than the informative role of entertainer, which takes a more friendly or soft-hearted character. And because of their expressiveness and sociability, they prefer to be a promoter boosting enterprises than a crafter handling instruments. There are lots of promoters, maybe 10 or so % of the population, and life is never dull around them. Witty, clever, and fun, they live with a theatrical flourish, which makes even the most routine events seem exciting. Not that they waste much time on routine events. Promoters have a knack for knowing where the action is. They always seem to have tickets to the hot show or big game, or can get them when others can't. And they usually know the best restaurants, where the head waiters are likely to call them by name. To be sure, ESTPs have a hearty appetite for the finer things of life. The best food, the best wine, expensive cars, and fashionable clothes. And they are extremely attentive to others, and smooth in social circles, knowing many, many people by name, and knowing how to say just the right thing to most everyone they meet. None are as socially sophisticated as they. None as suave and polished, and none such master manipulators of the people around them. Promoters are so engaging with people that they might seem to possess an unusual amount of empathy, when in fact this is not the case. Rather, they are uncanny at reading people's faces and observing their body language, hypersensitive to the tiniest nonverbal cues that give away the other's signs of assent, the other's attitudes. ESTPs keep their eyes on their audience, ever on the lookout for signs of assent or dissent, and with nerves of steel, they will use this information to achieve the ends they have in mind, which is to sell the customer in some way. Winning people over with this kind of brinkmanship might seem exhausting to others. But promoters are exhilarated by working close to the edge. Indeed, a theme of seeking excitement through taking risks runs throughout their lives. Promoters can be hard-nosed utilitarians, willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. And it is this utilitarianism that allows them to be such capable troubleshooters and negotiators, concerned more with what works than with traditions or moral niceties. They can keep their cool in crisis and operate freely, since they do not stand on ceremony, do not worry much about justifying their actions, and are fully aware of all expedients that can be put to immediate use. Thus, ESTPs are invaluable as hired gun administrators who can pull troubled companies or departments out of the red very quickly and with style. Thus, too, they make the very best negotiators, willing to put anything and everything on the table, which gives them a tactical edge over opponents who might hold some asset or procedure as sacred and thus non-negotiable. Promoters can be sharp entrepreneurs, able to swing deals and kickstart enterprises in a way that no other type can. Although they ordinarily have little patience with following through and mopping up, this impatience can obscure their extraordinary talents, since people lose sight of their contributions and focus on the little things they've left undone, criticizing their weaknesses rather than appreciating their strengths. Few companies or institutions use this type of artisan as they should be used, but neither does this type always succeed when they strike out on their own, because their unwillingness to bother with follow-up details may cause an otherwise excellent project to fail. Whenever possible, ESTPs need careful, methodical assistants who will take care of completing their operations. If the promotional, entrepreneurial capabilities of promoters are used to constructive ends, an institution or a nation is fortunate for their presence. ESTPs are without peer as deal makers, sales promoters, arbitrators, and negotiators, just as they make bold defense lawyers, aggressive industrialists, and real estate developers, and flamboyant show business producers. And promoters have been some of America's most charismatic political leaders, including Andrew Jackson, Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, John Kennedy, and Lyndon Johnson. On the other hand, if their desire for excitement is not met constructively, they may channel their energies into antisocial activities, such as those of the con artist. Although nothing is too good for their friends, promoters are rarely interested in heartfelt, long-term commitments with their mates, and at times give their family responsibilities second priority. All relationships are essentially conditional for ESTPs, with their eye on what they have to gain by their investment. As long as there is a social or sexual payoff for them, they can be captivating mates, giving freely and generously to their spouses, and bringing fun and surprise to their relationships. Concerning matters of personal sympathy and family commitment, however, they can be less generous, and their mates may in time come to feel like possessions or negotiable commodities. In their role as parents, ESTPs are energetic and spontaneous, much like their children. They will push their children to take up competitive sports and to play hard at them, and they are proud to have their children tackle exciting, even dangerous activities, and will often participate with them. However, while they entertain and play with their children, they can be impatient with weakness or timidity in their children, and are all too often unavailable for the personal chat or the quiet moment of sharing. Charming, confident, popular, these tough, outgoing artisans carry on amusing repartee with friends and colleagues. At the same time, these smooth operators are usually something of a mystery to others. While they live in the moment and lend excitement and unpredictability to all their relationships, they rarely let anyone get close to them. They have a low tolerance for anxiety and are apt to leave relationships that are filled with interpersonal tensions. Promoters understand well the maxim, "He who travels fastest travels alone," although they are not likely to be lonely for long, since their boldness and sense of adventure tends to make ESTPs highly attractive to many other people. Thank you.